How's it going, YouTube? My name is Sherbert, and we're just a few days away from being able to play the Super People Final Beta. Now, I'm very excited. I cannot wait. It has been forever since I've gotten to play, since the closure of the Super People Beta back in February. So I'm on pins and needles, and Super People have been releasing a lot of content lately in regarding to what to expect during the Final Beta. One such update that they just released was the patch notes to the newest super soldier called Titan. Which we kind of heard a little bit about. They teased during the developer live stream a couple of weeks ago, but we really didn't know too much about it up until recently, where they released a video kind of explaining his moves, his perks, his ultimates, his overall gimmick. So we'll be sure to break down everything. We're going to break down his entire play style right here in this video. If you guys want to check out the actual Super People patch notes of Titan, go ahead and click the link in the description down below. I'll be sure to provide it so you guys can check it out if you guys don't want a mustache dude talking to you the entire time. But we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. So just a brief summary of Titan. He says that he's a super soldier that protects and provides cover to allies with a massive shield. That's his whole thing. He's a very defensive style character with a lot of offensive capabilities, which I think is really cool. His ultimate skill is called the Titan Aegis, which summons a large bulletproof shield, which can be used, the shield can be used to dash forward or place it on the ground to create a barricade. That's his whole thing, is to provide cover when you just don't have any. Oftentimes players who rotate poorly or get caught out of the open, or if it's the final circle and you just don't have cover. Titan seems like a very applicable, a very useful character in that scenario, which I think is really cool. They say that the shield can be placed down to be used as cover, expanding in size and lasting for a certain period of time. Now the shield will be indestructible, right? So when the shield's out, it won't take damage. You can hide behind it. It can take rockets, take anything. It will not be destroyed. The only time that it'll ever disappear is when the time limit ends. Now we don't know how long the shield will be out on the map. We don't know how long your ultimate lasts for. So that is really going to depend on how applicable Titan will be in the current meta. So I'd be really curious to see how long the duration of the shield lasts for. I was also a little worried about the mobility of Titan. Because he's a defensive god, I was worried that they weren't going to give him any mobility, but it does look like his ultimate lets the user dash forward, and it actually looks like he can get a little bit of a super jump, which looks pretty cool. So that mobility is going to be very important, but again, it's going to come down to the cooldown of the ultimate. Is it going to be a little quicker like Seeker, so its ultimate's up like every 60 seconds? Is it going to be a little later like Teleporter, where it's like 90 seconds? However long the ultimate cooldown is going to depend on how good this super soldier is going to be. So we'll see about that. It says the Titan Aegis also doesn't break when taking damage, but once placed has a cooldown. Yep, we've already mentioned that. It does look like it expands, so that'd be really nice. Now I think where the bread and butter comes from the Titan is going to be his perks. His perks actually seem really cool. They seem really well worked. We're starting off with the red perk tree. Specialized weapon starting the first. That's no brainer. Every single super soldier has a specialized weapon. So there's already that red one. Now the two other ones are kind of interesting. This says enhanced pump shotgun, which basically it increases the effective range of pump shotguns. For example, the R870 and the W1887. Now these aren't particularly high in, I would say, the quote unquote meta. They're not very well picked up guns. Nobody really picks them up, to be honest with you. They're very situational. So I don't know if this is going to make players pick these up more. I don't know if this is something that people are just going to overlook. Generally, I overlook these guns just because I kind of have potato aim, or the range just isn't there. So I'd be curious to see how effective the range of these shotguns will be. So that'll be the second perk. The third perk is actually very cool in regards to nullifying certain super soldiers' ultimates. We've started seeing this kind of cool little theme going with certain super soldiers, where certain soldiers nullify other super soldiers' ultimates. For example, SWAT and Marine. If you use the SWAT ultimate, the blackout, you can use Marine and it'll disable it, or vice versa. I can't remember. It's been forever since I played the beta, but you can nullify certain ultimates. For example, Strike Force's dash ultimate gets nullified inside of Weapon Master's ultimate, which I think is really cool. And the same thing can be applied for the third perk of Titan, which is called the Infernal Behemoth, which gives immunity to all fire damage and increases damage while on fire. This also nullifies Fireball, Molotovs, and Spitfire. So Fireball being from the Gas Soldier and Spitfire being from the Gatling Soldier. So those ultimates don't work on Titan, which I think is very cool. If you've never played Gas Soldier, I, in my opinion, think he's one of the best super soldiers out there, especially for newer players. His playstyle is very straightforward. His ultimate is, in my opinion, very broken. And it's very interesting to see that they gave Titan a perk that would nullify such a powerful ultimate, which is very, very cool. So it seems like, especially in close range, Titan can just kind of throw down a flat Molotov, catch himself on fire, and just run in and start blazing, which sounds really fun. That perk right there, I think, is going to put Titan in a very competitive standard. So that's the red skill tree. The green skill tree is pretty normal. They have home ground cover, so Titan receives a damage boost while behind cover. His second perk is cover fire, which basically, if it's anything like Seeker's cover fire, he's going to have a little bit of a farther lean, and it might be a little quicker, and he might do extra damage while leaning. So that'd be really good applied with his ultimate. Now his third green perk is called Neural Augment, which reduces the stun duration and glare of flashbangs. So again, he can kind of throw a Molotov in, throw a flashbang in, blind himself, it doesn't matter, run in as a flaming mess and eliminate the target. I know that was a big hindrance in some flashbangs, is you're like, all right, I'm going to throw a flashbang, and then everyone's banged and it's kind of a nightmare. Yeah, it's going to nullify that, so that'll be kind of cool. Or not nullify, but it's going to reduce the time of the flashbang. Now, his blue perk tree is actually really cool, and it's something that we've never seen before. So these are all new perks regarding the blue perk tree. The first one is Bio Bulwark, which I think is going to be very, very, very good. It's called temporarily increases the HP of yourself as well as allies. So it'll give you, depending on how much HP that gives you, it could give you a significant amount for you to be extra beefy, extra chunky. You can kind of run in there, guns blazing. You can save your teammates if they start taking just excess amounts of fire. It would seems to be a very applicable perk. Now, again, I'd be curious to see how long that cooldown is, but it seems to be very, very cool, and it seems really, really fun. I can't wait for that one. Now, Undertaker is also a very cool one. It says displays the location of eliminated players on the map. Now, I'd be curious as to see if this is the map or if this is the mini map. If it's the mini map, this is going to be a very, very cool perk. If it's the map, this is going to be very good early game. I don't think it'll be very applicable late game, just because the circle is so small. You have to be really on your toes. I don't think players are going to have a lot of time to be looking at the map. So if it's on the mini map, great. If it's on the map, good. I think this would be really good to eliminate, players camping. If I know that there's one or two skulls on a certain house, I would assume that somebody's camping in there. So I'll approach that house a little bit more cautiously. It'd be really great for kind of tracking players. It seems like a very fun perk, and it seems to be really good. That'll be really nice. Now, the last one will be the Marching Formation, which says Marching Formation increases the sidestepping and backtracking movement speed. This will be really nice. You just strafe a little bit farther. It might throw players' aims off a little bit just because they're used to a certain speed of sidestepping or backtracking. This might throw off their tracking skills. You just might be able to outstrafe them a little bit faster. It seems to be a pretty applicable perk. It's neither here nor there. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to completely break the class. I don't think it's going to be something that hinders the class. It's just there. It's just there. But yeah, that's basically a workdown of Titan. That Titan Aegis seems really cool. The Bio Bulwark seems very cool. It's going to be really nice to see them stack. I could see a really nice combo starting from the two. Along with the Behemoth Inferno or the Inferno Behemoth, seems really, really nice. It seems like his playstyle is going to mesh very well. He's going to be quote unquote defensive special soldier, but I think he's going to be a very badass, like full tilt W key kind of defensive soldier. Now, where do I think he lies in with the current meta, with the current picked super soldiers? I think he's going to be very, very picked. More than like Sniper, more than Seeker or Strike Force. They were one of the most picked classes during the beta. I don't know. It's going to depend a lot on the ultimate cooldown. If it's a fast cooldown, 60 seconds, 70 seconds, I'd be fine with that. I think he'll be pretty well picked. I think he's going to be I think the skill ceiling's going to be a little higher on him, but I think he's going to be good. Do I think that there's going to be certain classes that counter him, sure. Any class with mobility, Strike Force, Seeker, Teleporter, anything like that, anything that can kind of get away from him being close and behind cover, any way to kind of remove him from his shield and kind of change the fight scenario. I think those would be really good counters to Titan. But ultimately, I think he's gonna be a really fun class. I think he's gonna be enjoyable. I think he's gonna be bring a nice little mix to the current meta that is super people. I think he's gonna be fun. I'd really like to see his playstyle. I think I'll play him pretty heavily during the beta. We can put a bunch of guides and videos on how to play Titan properly once the beta actually releases in just a couple of days. But that is a quick overview of Titan, what to expect, his perks, abilities, everything like that. If you guys have any questions or comments, or if there's any videos you guys want to make, be sure to let me know in the comment sections down below. Also, let me know what you guys think about Titan. Do you think you're going to be picking him? Do you think you're going to be playing him? Do you think he's going to be a liked super soldier? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd be curious to see what you guys think, because at this moment we just don't know. We know of him, we don't know enough about him. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'll be sure to post some more once the final beta releases in just a couple of days, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, have a great day. Do something to buy the time, because it is just a few more days until we have super people. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, bye.